EliteConversations.com. EliteConversations.com. EliteConversations.com.
Hello. This is EliteConversations.com. This is Daryl Spears with Elite Conversations, and I just want to thank everyone for coming out and being with us again on a Thursday. We're excited about this show, and I know you guys missed us last week. We apologize. We had to take a hiatus and get ready for our Entrepreneur Night, which was last weekend. And before I get started, I just want to thank everyone who played a role or who came out to participate in what was an outstanding weekend. We had the Business Summit on Friday, which was a private event for Prince George's County business owners, and we had an outstanding time just talking about some critical areas of for Prince George's County, which included business development, youth development, and also preparing businesses to collaborate and work together. Also, for Entrepreneur Night, we had an outstanding time over at Pohanka Volkswagen. We had over 150 businesses that came out, which was an outstanding event. So I just want to thank you guys for, again, supporting us over the weekend, and we look forward to definitely doing this again within the next few months. Before we get started, also, I want to thank my last guest. We had Kelly Leonard here. We had 2 weeks of social media. We talked about various aspects of social media. And our last Elite Conversation Unplugged was Kelly Leonard, who's an expert with LinkedIn. And also we had Laris Bernard, who was a guru in terms of social media and helping individuals in all of the platforms, whether it's LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook. So definitely, if you get a chance, if you haven't seen it and you need some information in terms of just how to operate your business and use social media effectively, definitely check out the last podcast that we had for social media. Again, my name is Daryl Spears, and this is EliteConversations.com. And one of the things we try to do is to make sure that our business owners have three things. One is knowledge, two is resources, and three is to help them get those connections that they need to prosper. So I'm always excited when I have entrepreneurs in to be able to share with those that are listening. And today we have two awesome players in the filming and entertainment industry, two up-and-coming stars. I'm telling you, these guys are doing a great service not only by what they provide, but also in the community. So I want to welcome Ms. Dayne to our show. Hello, Dayna.
Hello, hi.
Thank you for coming. And
I'm
also,
excited to be here.
Thank you.
Me.
I'm excited to have you guys here. And I also want to welcome Jimmy Jenkins of Jimmy Jenkins Films. How you doing, sir?
Thank you. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Good. So we're going to jump right in it. This is Business Unlimited Unplugged, so we just let it flow. Whatever happens. But I think you guys are going to share some good information for those that are listening. So I'm going to start with you, Dayne, and just ask that you just share a little bit about what you do, your background, and let the individuals that's listening in know a little bit about you.
Okay, well, I do a little bit of everything. I guess I do. So first of all, I want to start off by saying something that I'm doing right now is because of you. And I don't even know if you know that, but I said I was going to save it. I didn't want to talk to you until I came on your show.
Wow.
So when I came to that class that you were teaching, it was marketing. Mm-hmm. And I never had anybody to talk to me about a business alliance. I sat there and took down so many notes from you, took down notes. And let me tell you how God works. My good girlfriend came to me and she was talking about some ideas she had, and I said, you know what, that sounds like you're talking about an alliance.
Right.
And then she said, what's that? And I said, hold on. I went and got my notes, and then we actually sat down and talked, and she's like, that is what I'm talking about, but had I not come to your class, I would have not had that knowledge to know that, we need to connect and make this happen. And we actually have formed a business alliance.
Awesome.
It's called Business Leaders Network Alliance, BLNA. And we had our first gathering, it was last month, and our next one is April the 15th. But again, it's because of you that I am doing this with her. So I wanted to
Excellent.
thank you
I
before I even
appreciate
start
it.
talking about anything I'm doing. I appreciate you and your knowledge.
Thank you so much.
You're awesome.
Appreciate it. Appreciate
Okay, I just
that.
had to get that off my chest.
And that's the way it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
We just talked about it, sharing knowledge and information, and I'm sure that's going to benefit you guys because it help you share in not only sharing the wealth, but share in the responsibility as well.
And
you
I
can
need
do
you to
more.
come to the next one.
Absolutely.
And of course, you're just
You
an
know, I'll be
automatic
there.
member. You just automatically in because you are the man. So yeah, I'll definitely
appreciate
give you all that information so you can make it on the 15th.
Okay, we'll do.
Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about me. I have a company called Capital Life LLC, do marketing and managing, and I'm actually getting into some producing now. I wrote a stage play 4 years ago called The Power of A Woman's Love. That's something else, A Woman's Love. And I'm actually bringing that vision to life on the 15th of July.
Wow.
Yeah, July 15th. I'm doing that with Timeless Entertainment. Gil Nelson is also the producer along with myself, and he's actually the director too.
Oh, wow.
And that's just something that just came up. Like, I'm looking at what you do, and I never thought about being a playwright. I never thought about writing a script. Never. One day, something just came over me. I started thinking about a friend of mine who was sick, and he's no longer here. And I said, you know what? I need to write. And I just started writing. This was 4 years ago.
Wow.
And I always like to say, look how God works, because 4 years ago I had an opportunity, a major opportunity for a huge organization to fund my whole project. They said they would split it 50-50 with me if they could fund the whole project.
Wow.
And in turn, that meant putting their name at the top and my name at the bottom. I didn't want to do that. So I had people telling me, you're crazy. They're going to do everything to promote everything. You don't have to worry about it. But it was bigger than that because I felt like I wanted to make that project come to life with people that were like me, hardworking, that would appreciate it. So I held on to it. And it took me, again, almost 4 years to finally bring it to life. And I feel like now I can do it my way. Without anybody controlling it or telling me what they want to do. So that's something that's in the works right now. And actually, I plan on taking that from city to city. I have connections everywhere. They're like, we're ready to do it. So I want to start here. I'm going to start here in D.C., but I'm not stopping here. So this will be the kickoff.
You listen to the voice of God because you had a higher purpose and a call for that, and not just chasing, the dollar at that time. So this is your season, and that thing is going to take off.
Definitely.
It's going to really impact folks.
Yes.
So I'm excited about that, excited about sharing that with the world. So
I'm definitely claiming that.
Yeah, I'm proud of you on that. So
Thank
anything I
you.
can do to help will be excellent.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. And we know this brother here on the right, he's already blazing the path. I mean, he's done a lot already in such a young age. And Jimmy, just share a little bit about, your background and what you're doing and your play and all that has already taken place and bringing in thousands. Thousands of people have seen the play. So talk a little bit about that.
I'm Jimmy Jenkins, and I just like to consider myself as a vessel. I'm just being used, by God to help humanity. And since I was 19, I had this vision just to tell stories. And I knew I could do it. I knew I didn't have the training, but I knew that I had concepts and visions, and I would just write them. And I was 19. I played college. I was a freshman in college. Just turned 19 years old, and I was playing football. I was on a football scholarship, and I just had these visions. I said, "Nah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing." I was a starting running back as a freshman, doing well. And for some reason, I had this inkling inside of me, like, football gonna be momentary. You might play 4 or 5 years. Yeah. Then after that, you got to start and figure out what you're gonna do with your life. What is something you can do for 40 years and help people? And it was like, I can tell people stories. I can do that. And I wrote a play, and it sucked. It was awful. And
first one?
Yeah, my first one. But I never produced it. I just wrote it, and I was getting ready to have some auditions, and I read it. I was like, okay, this sucks. I got to do it again. But I was like, I have auditions in 30 days. Wow. So I rewrote a whole new script in 30 days, and that was my first play. And people actually liked it, Wow. And I've been doing plays since I was 19. I just turned 26 last month, or the month before last, January 24th. And I've been able to work with Tyler Perry, been able to work with BT, and I've also started my company in 19, and you know,
That's awesome.
I've done about 5 productions. I've directed 2 films. I've just been in that industry and just, you know, motivating and inspiring people to go after their dreams.
Right, and that's awesome. And talk about, back up and talking about what took place in your mind when you looked at that play and it sucked and you had to go back and write it. That's not easy to do, and that's something, because this is all about, you know, sharing information and helping individuals that are listening that want to do what you do.
Yeah, sure.
It's not always going to be perfect.
Oh, no, it's not at all.
Yeah, so you had to take a step back and rewrite it.
You know, it's an obstacle that everybody, there's no way getting around obstacles. If you want to do something that's your vision, I don't care if you do something to somebody else's vision, you still gonna come across obstacles. It don't matter. You're gonna hit obstacles wherever. But the thing about your purpose is, and when you know what you're doing, obstacles don't seem like obstacles. They just seem like things you got to get through.
Oh my goodness, you hit that on the nose.
And I it was never, they were challenges, but it was like, okay, this is just something I have to figure out because I know I have to do this. And I didn't care if I could have had to wrote the script in the night. If I just had to figure it out. If I had to, I have to figure it out. And it's just something, I'm so in tune with what I'm supposed to be doing that it don't matter what the obstacle is for me. I'm going to just think it through because I know if I just get through it, it's going to be another obstacle at the other side, but it's just what I got to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Dayna, talk a little bit about, you're doing the play, but you also do a lot in terms of with entertainers, and you're great at pushing other people forward to it as well, giving them the spotlight, and that's an aspect of entertainment that's very important to business owners. So how should individuals approach you in terms of moving their business forward in the industry in terms of entertainment? What advice would you give those young entertainers that want to move ahead?
What I would tell them first, a lot of us, especially when we're young, we get caught up in the hype of having a whole bunch of people around us, listening to a whole bunch of people. You have to, like he said, it's stuck in my head, and I'm the same way. You have to figure out what you want, and you have to want it, and you have to go get it. You have to do what you have to do to make it happen. So I think at a young age, a lot of young people, they get caught up in the hype of the world, what's going on, what's in, what's not. If somebody says you shouldn't do this, if somebody says that's not right, you can't listen to people because people can shatter your dreams. Because they'll look at what you're doing and they'll say, oh, that's too much. That'll never happen. You can't do that, because they don't think they can do that. If it's in your heart and you're passionate about it, and if you fall, if you fail, if it's your passion, you have, like he said, you got to keeping on. You have to get up, because Lord knows I've been knocked down so many times with my health, with dealing with different people. And if I was not strong and determined, I would have given up a long time ago. But that's just not me, because I know what I can do. And I know, just like he said, once I get past it, I see it. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. So all of this stuff going on, it's like I'm knocking it out the way, and I'm determined to get by. You have to be determined. I think that's the main thing. You have to be determined, and you also have to be able to be ridiculed, be talked about. You have to be ready to deal with all that stuff. Be left. Some people are going to be with you, and some people are going to say, oh, this is too much. They're going to leave you. You have to be determined to stand on your own, if that means standing by yourself.
Exactly.
And that's how I am.
Yeah,
and I can see that's how you are too. Yeah, you have to. The determination is the number one thing.
Right. And when you're all in, it just makes a world of difference. Because when you're all in and you know the passion that God's given you, what other people say won't matter.
Exactly.
You know where your vision is, where your passion is. And also, it releases you to go above and beyond what you're capable of doing. Once you make that commitment that you're all in, you're going to press forward, and God is going to give you even more, because you can't realize what you have if you're not willing to get rid of the safety nets.
Exactly.
And that's where, it's tough, where you're trying to hold on to what people are saying and hold on to the confidence, because you want that safety net that you're going the right way. Like Jimmy said, when you mess up, it's all on you. You gotta make that decision to keep going.
Exactly. And you have to really be for the people. I like to see people successful. Right. I mean, I'm not jealous. I'm not inferior of anyone. I love to see people winning. I like to see people winning. And if I can win with you and you can win with me, I'm like, let's win together. Let's do it together. I don't want anybody helping me if they're not going to gain with me. You know, a lot of people, they just want. No, I'm not happy just getting. I'm happy seeing you get too.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you really have to, when you're talking about a team, you really have to have team players on your team. That's everybody eating together. It's not, I wrote this play, so I'm going to give you this little bit, give you that little bit. No, if everybody brings something to the table that's equal, let's split it and get this money and make it happen.
Absolutely.
That's how I am.
Absolutely. And that way people are vested too.
Exactly.
They're vested in what you're trying
Exactly.
to do. 'Cause, you know, it's tough when you're just trying to pay people to do something. 'Cause they get that check and they're gone. They're not invested in your dream. And what
Exactly.
you're trying to do. So Jimmy, share with us, there's a lot of components in terms of producing a film or play or movie. And for those that are interested in moving in that direction, share with us, what are the different components that brings a play together? You got your producer, you got the actors, you have, I don't even know who else you have. What are all those components that make that engine run?
Well, you know, it's a lot. It's a big moving machine. You know, it's a lot of different pieces, a lot of different parts. But the thing about filmmaking or storytelling is you can compare it a lot to life. You know, it's the exact same thing. You know, it's before you make the movie, you first got to write your script, which is your plan.
Oh, okay.
You know, no matter what, take your business, or even if you want to start a agricultural company, you got to first write your script, your plan, okay? And then after you write your plan, then from there you go into pre-production. Pre-production is how you figure out how you're going to operate, how you're going to make money, how you're going to, you know, and that's when the pre-production, once you write it, you give it to the producer. The producer takes it, he goes into pre-production. He finds a director, he finds a location, he finds a casting director. He finds all these different people to get the actors together, and then the producer gets that together. And then after that's done, then you go into the real game. You go into the game, you go into the business. You got to start executing, and that's the production, which is life. Just like whatever you do in agriculture country, you got to produce. You go through a part where you got to produce. Then you're at the production where you got to produce. You got to make sure the locations are right. You got to make sure the costumes are right. You got to make sure your actors are saying the lines right. You got to make sure the cars and the scenery, the everything's right. That's execution. So just like the agriculture, when you go cut your grass, you got to make sure that thing looking good. You see the pattern. It's the same thing. And after that, once you finish that, then you go to the editing process. You make it look good. You make yourself look good. After you do that, after you finish your production, you need to show people how good your grass is. You show people, you prepare you edit it, you get it ready, and then you show people, you know, what you've done. And you know, filmmaking is just like life. You take those steps, and then you'll finish a movie, and you'll complete what you got to do in your life. And
that's amazing.
That's
That's amazing. And you make it sound easy, but I know it's not that easy.
Oh no,
That's a lot of folks.
It ain't easy. It ain't nothing easy.
I mean, it's just
right.
That's
very
amazing.
hard.
All
It's
of the
very
parts that have to be perfect. I mean, anything that goes awry,
lot of work.
It's a lot of work in getting those folks together. So, is there a difference between someone that produces a film as opposed to someone that does theater, or what's the difference between?
You know, they're still the same steps. You know, you still got to write. You still got to get a producer. He has to find a director. He has to find a casting director. He has to find a costuming. The only big difference is. Biggest difference between theater and stage is, for one, it's live. You ain't messing up. Whatever you do, you got to play it off. Film, you mess up, okay, stop. Let's redo this over. Say it like this. Wow. You don't have that time. And then another thing is, you know, theater, you just got to be much bigger. It's really where the greatest actors hone their skills, where they started at, because you got to be real big. And then from there, in film, you're much smaller. You don't have to express so much because you got a camera right. You got a camera right here in your face. So those are the differences. But
that makes sense.
It does make sense, but those are things you don't even realize. You go into a movie and you don't understand exactly all that's behind it. Yeah. Wow. So share with us a little bit about Capital Life LLC, Dayna, and is everything under that umbrella in terms of your
my business? Yeah, entertainment. Yes, it is. I have contracts with quite a few companies. Comwells, that's a roofing and construction company, and that's the partners in that company. That's my good friend Carlos Wells and my other half, Brian Hungerford. I do their managing, I do their booking, I do their books, I do everything for them. I get business for them, I get contracts for them. And I tell people a lot of times what I do, I connect the dots. I deal with a lot of people who are looking to connect with other people. So just say, for example, with Capital Life, if I sit down at the table with you and I know you need something that he has, I put the deal together, you all going to make money. So I'm out of it now, but I'm going to get a percentage of what you all make. I get paid every 2 weeks, but I'm out of it. But it's because of me, I put the deal together.
Yeah, nice.
So that's a big part of what Capital Life does behind the scenes. That's the major thing right now. And that wasn't planned. It just so happened when you get connections and then people talk and you get word of mouth, people call you for favors, and the favors just end up being, okay, you're a part of it now. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I have clients from California to Florida now.
Excellent. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Now, when you do your shows, and I know, so I'm just sort of asking a rhetorical question for those that are listening, what is entailed in you for you to put a show together, bringing individuals together, doing your research and all that good stuff? How does that work for
A
you?
show as far as what kind of show?
TV shows or bringing people in to do a podcast?
Well, it's funny because, like, for Dayna's Lane, I did everything myself. I didn't go to school for it or anything. And it's crazy because I started at, I'm trying to think of the name of that. It was a cable network TV station in Virginia. I forgot which one it was, but it was in Virginia. And I worked with a producer, and we came together, and he said, okay, well, you need to get guests, and you need to figure out what you want to ask them. So I end up setting the set, and I end up picking the guests, and I end up having my first guest ever was Tim McAdams. He was on Fast and the Furious. He's been on quite a few stuff. He's actually Ludacris's body double stuntman.
Wow.
Then I had Steve Francis. Then I had Chink Santana, who at the time was on Love and Hip Hop New York. So I just start calling people, and I'm like, I need a favor. I need to do the show. And I actually have right now 4 shows that I produce. And I put that on hold because, like you said, things didn't go right, but I still have them. So I felt like it wasn't the time, but now I feel like God is making everything come to life for me. So now when I go back to get Dayna's Lane, I can go back and get it as my own project. Now I don't need all of these people to help me because I have built myself up and my company up where I have people already that are ready to do this with me. They're on my team. So I felt like Dayna's Lane, I was ready for it, but God wasn't ready for me to have it right then. So I really wasn't ready for it. So I feel like now when I go back and pull it up, now I'll be ready. I'll have more knowledge, and I'll be ready to do this on my own and have more control. That's the big thing for me. At the beginning, I didn't have control. I depended on so many people for knowledge, for help, for money. So now it's like I got my feet on solid ground now. So now I'm making the calls. Now I'm doing everything my way. And I'm blessed to have 2 partners, Wally K and Miss Charlene Bowman, who we partnered up with, and we just came together, and I swear it's like overnight. We are doing Miss Charlene Bowman's East Coast tour. And we're taking Meet Me Monday up and down the East Coast. We're doing that for 2017. And next year, 2018, we already have cities booked for the West Coast, including other countries, Nigeria, London, just to name a few. So it's like once God brings the right people to you, it's like you feel like you can just conquer the world. You can do everything. But I had to go through all of the mess to realize I'm tough enough, I'm strong enough to still keep my eyes on the prize and go get it. Because I withstood all of the nonsense of the world and all this, everything I had to go through to get to where I am today. So I feel like now God is telling me it's your time. But like he said, it's not always easy. Oh my goodness, it's not. But you just have to be determined.
Yeah, so one of the big things for me in my business is, and both of you are touching on it, is the importance of relationships.
Yes,
You know,
definitely.
you're not going to get anywhere in life, business, filming, or whatever without having the right relationships in place and having people that are concerned about where you're headed. Not just concerned about your business, but concerned about your well-being.
Right.
And, you know, people ask me a lot, again, you know, how come I'm going so fast? It's because of those solid relationships that I've built. And people are willing to help you. I mean, of all backgrounds. I mean, I have some very good mentors that are doing very well in society, but hey, and that's another piece of being all in, you know, because people want to know that, hey, if you're not giving 100%, why am I going to give 100% to support you? So those relationships are important. So share a little bit, Dayna, some of the relationships in your life that have helped you get to where you are, that have helped you shape
right
your
now,
business.
I would say my brother Damon. He's my younger brother. He's 3 years younger than me, but he's such a businessman, and he's taught me a lot. and he has a company called Hicks Holding. He deals with stocks. He's also a contributor on CNBC.
Okay.
So
Wow.
he's my little brother for life to me, but I learned a lot from him.
Excellent.
And as far as the entertainment, I have to say Mitch Creedle, Anthony Commodore, and Randall Lawrence. They're not only my friends, they're my mentors.
There you
And
go.
yeah, I watch them. They teach me a lot. We have a great bond, and I've been team Randy, Mitch, and Anthony since day one. And I get the same love from them. So I would have to say they are, and my mom. My mom is actually, she's my rock.
Right.
And I always tell people when I talk about being an entrepreneur, you can't just say I'm gonna quit my job and just go be an entrepreneur if you don't have the money saved up or you don't have the support saved up.
System in place,
If
yeah.
it was not for my mother, I would not have been able to do this.
Wow.
Because it was times where business was good. It was times where I had no business. But mom had my back. She's like, I see your vision. Go ahead. I got you. So I was blessed to have her, and I still am. She's my backbone. But one more person, I have to say Brian. That's my boyfriend. That man he's my teacher.
Solid, the rock,
He's my
man.
teacher. He's my boyfriend. He's my partner. He's my biggest cheerleader. I learned so much from him. He is an entrepreneur, and he is a go-getter. I mean, to the point where I literally, and I know he's listening, so it's done now, so I'm going to go ahead and say it right here so he can hear it. I literally had to go through his personal phone records and find out who he had meetings with, look at his calendar, and I canceled his meeting so I could take him somewhere for his birthday next week. So when he's thinking he's going to take his computer with us and he's going to be working, I already talked to his clients, and they know that he's going to celebrate his 50th birthday. So
you go.
Brian, now you don't have to worry about working. Yeah, he's a workaholic. I mean, sometimes you really have to just relax and enjoy yourself. But the people around me, including Wiley K. and Micheline Bowman, Carlos Wells, Vikai, I have to say that. Vikai, Antoine Jones, Eric Bowman, these are some guys that I'm working with on some major things that I can't talk about, but this is going to rock the nation. I'm so blessed now to have a solid foundation of people who genuinely have my back. I know that. I know it because they show me, they prove it, not just talk about it. So I'm blessed.
I'm telling you, you talk about riches, that's riches.
Yeah, I'm blessed. It took me a long time to get here. It took me years to get like a solid group of people that I feel secure with and I trust. Like I can let my guards down and trust that if they lead me and I follow, I'm gonna be good. So yeah,
That's
I feel
awesome.
blessed now.
That is awesome. And I know for sure there's a second part of that Jenkins brothers team that we haven't talked about. Yeah, just talk a little bit about you and Joshua and just how you guys bring it together growing up. Sometimes it's not easy for siblings to come and work together and grow together. I mean, you guys do, when you get together, do some magical stuff, share that relationship, and any other people that have helped you in terms of moving forward.
Oh, you know, my brother's my biggest inspiration. He's the real reason why, you know, I got into what I'm doing now. Everything I did was from my brother. He played football, I played football, basketball. He had a go-go band, I had a go-go band. You know, he started writing plays, I started writing plays.
Right.
And so, like, it was just, you know, my brother was doing it for a time before I was, about 7 years before I started. So when I started, I first wanted to prove myself
Gotcha.
to myself.
Right.
I didn't want to just start doing it with my brother. So for the first 5-6 years, I just did it by myself. And then he was seeing how serious I was. And he said, okay, you know, he does huge plays. So he's like, all right, now we'll come together. Yeah. So, you know, we came together and he's taught me a lot. And the biggest thing, we stay in our lanes. Like, you know, he stays in his lane, I stay in my lane. And that's what works. And so he's been, you know, my biggest support system. I know I can count on him for anything. And, you know, other than that, you know, I got my family. My family's just been phenomenal. And I have very good friends. I think you only know how far you going is the people you talk to every day. Like, whatever they're doing, that's how you know where you going. And, you know, the people I talk to have really been very, very insightful to me as far as relationships. Like, you know, I have to read books because my friends read books. You know, after they, you know, they talking about, well, I just finished this book about this, XYZ. And I'm like, well, I ain't going to be the one that read books. You know, and now I got like a whole big library of books I read every day now. And it's been the biggest thing for me. And I've learned so much. And I think those are the relationships that really, really help. And when those bigger opportunities come, the person you become in that already sells yourself. You don't have to do anything. You just be who you are. And they're like, okay, this person is different. And that's how it's been for me, how I got to Tyler Perry's, how I got to BET. You know, I never filled out an application. Never filled out. I mean, those are the only 2 jobs I had. But, you know, I never filled out an application. I just was myself, and it worked out for me. And I still got a long way to go, and there are a lot of more relationships I'll be building.
Wow. Well, what's coming down the pike for United Empire in the next?
When I was in Atlanta, I was there for about 2 years, and I was able to form a very strong business relationship with a producer at Tyler Perry Studios and another guy who owns one of the top visual effects companies in the country. They do, you name it, from Planet of the Apes, 2012. They do all those visual effects, and I connected with the owner of that company, and it was just like I just was talking about, just who I was and what I was doing. They felt like we should come together, and we started a business, and we're getting ready to produce our first film this year. Wow. That we just got funded for. And, we'll be producing that this year, and we have a slate of 3 other films we'll be working on. And Black Boy Blues is getting ready to go on tour. We got a show in Arkansas April 12th. We got some more shows during the summer. We got about 5 shows lined up right now in different cities. And that's my work for this year, is to get this movie done and to get this play just rolling around the country.
Absolutely, and the Black Boy Blues is off the chain. I mean, the acting and everything. And that's the thing, too. You're doing your thing, and because you're in your zone and in your gifting, look at all the other people that are prospering through that one play. It didn't even dawn on me until I went to the play how many people involved, and just looking at some faces that I'm familiar with, it's like, man, these guys are prospering and growing too through the whole process. So, it's just a blessing where, that's taking place. Share a little bit as we start to wind down a little bit, and share a little bit about the creative production workshop that's coming up.
Sure. March 18th, me and my brother are holding a creative workshop for any actors, writers, directors, producers that are looking how to get their dream going, or how to get into the industry, or what we did to work out. I got a couple of my friends coming in who have been heavy in the industry, worked on some big-time major productions, and they're just going to share their story. And, sometimes just sharing your story is enough for somebody to be inspired. And that's what we'll be doing. So March 18th at First Baptist Church of Glenarden. We have tickets available at JenkinsBros.com. I'd love to see you there. It'll be a fantastic time, and it's from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And we'll be sharing, having a good time, and you come in and enjoy yourself.
That's excellent. And again, that's the First Baptist Church of Glenarden. Do you have to have any type of experience or anything?
No, you could just wake up and be like, I want to try. All we ask is that, if you believe in yourself, and there's something you want to do, come out, and if something you love, come out.
That's excellent. And for you, Dayna, what's coming up? I know you talked about Women's Love, the tour. When does that start?
July 15th.
Okay.
At the Arc.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, that's going to be my first show at the Arc.
Wow, that's awesome.
And I will definitely be at your workshop.
Really?
Definitely, yeah. And
Awesome.
You said, really? Yeah, I'm sitting over here learning from you. I'm like, okay, look at God again. I was supposed to be here when you were here. Look at what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I'll share. We'll exchange information. I'll share it on my Facebook page and get my network to share it with you.
Awesome.
Share it also.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's the way it's
So
supposed to work.
what I'm working on right now is actually, again, Miss Charlene Bowman's East Coast Tour. And we are actually getting started with that on April the 10th, and we're starting in Charlotte. Okay, now let me see if I can remember the cities. Charlotte, Richmond, Atlanta, Miami. Charlotte, Richmond, Atlanta, Miami. I can't remember. We did Jersey.
Okay.
We did Jersey.
Philly. That's a big city.
New York.
New York is.
Yeah, and Philadelphia. Thank you. Philadelphia is my birthday. How did I forget that? Thank you for helping me. Yeah. So we actually have the tour date scheduled from April until November. And the 5-year return of Meet Me Monday is going to be April the 3rd at the Paradigm Lounge in Upper Marlboro. And that's from 6 to 10 p.m., yeah.
Excellent. That's awesome. Well, we're getting ready to wind down. One of the things that I like to do is I'm always want to share with those that are listening and have aspirations of not necessarily this business, but to move forward. So I always ask my guests 3 questions. And I'm sorry I didn't prepare you guys.
I was like, huh?
which I think are important. The first question is, what drives you? What are the passions that you have? What are the principles that you live by that you would like to share with individuals to help them get past those roadblocks, to help them get past the negativity? So that's question number one. Question number two, are there any resources, and this is probably in particular entertainment or film, any resources that are out there that you use that will be helpful to the listeners that are online or watching us on Facebook? And then the last question is, who would you like to spotlight? Is there a company, business, artist, or someone that you would like to spotlight that those that are listening should reach out to or go and see or whatever? So those are the three questions, and I'll start with you, Dayna, and just go through that.
Okay.
So what are some of
who
the
I would like to
principles?
spotlight? Oh,
No,
that's
first one is
the first one.
What are some of the principles? What are the things that you live by that get you through day to day? Those tough times when it's rough. How do you get through it?
I keep saying the same word, determination.
Mm-hmm.
That's my number one word because I'm so determined and nothing can change that.
That's right.
So again, that's just something that I'm so glad that I feel that way. Nothing can change that. So determination is number one for me. And I would also have to say just I want to be successful. Like, I want to be successful so bad. I mean, every day I live, dream, work hard, even when I'm tired. Like I was telling you before we got on the cameras and on the mic, even if I'm tired, I feel like I can't stop. I can't stop because I don't know if this life is over for me next week, tomorrow, tonight. So I have to keep pushing. I just keep pushing myself. And I'm blessed also not to have to worry about other people pushing me. I don't need you or you to push me. It helps, but I'm so driven that I'm going to always have my own back regardless. So I guess my determination is kind of like obsessive. I guess you could say that. It might sound crazy, but it's obsessive because whether or not I have 5, 3, 2 people, 10 people with me, if I'm by myself, I'm going to be the same way. I'm going to push for me just as hard as if I had 20 people pushing me. So I would have to say that would sum up. Does that answer? Does that sum up what you asked me? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Are there any resources out there or any recommendations for those?
There's one big one, BLNA, my organization.
Okay.
April 15th. And they can reach out to me on Facebook, or you can't join the BLNA on Facebook because you have to be a member, but you can just inbox me, Dayna Dayne, Dana Dayne on Facebook. Inbox me, we can talk, and I can get you on board.
And what are some of the benefits with BLNA?
We are all there to support each other.
Okay.
We are all there to help each other eat. We are all there because we want support and we want to give support.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of, when you think of networking events, sometimes you think about just passing out your card or what can I get from him? We are all there to help each other. And it's working. We're doing that. People are connecting. People are working together. And we have Miss Wilson. She's in our organization, and she's having a big event this Saturday. And all of the ladies from BLNA are going to go and support her. Wow. And again, just connect with me on my page. I'm kind of at my max, but you can still follow me. Mm-hmm. Again, it's Dayna Dayne, Dayne.
Okay, excellent. And last but not least, who would you like to spotlight?
That was so hard. I sat here. I know so many amazing people, but I would have to say, I would have to say Mitch Creedle for the Boss movie. Okay. Mitch Creedle for the Boss movie. He's actually getting ready to show Boss again. I don't know the dates. I can't even keep up with all of my stuff. Mm-hmm. But his movie, Boss, and he's getting ready to do Boss 2. The movie's coming out. Okay. And again, I can't remember the date, but most people know Mitch Creedle. If you don't, you can look him up on Facebook. You can ask somebody about it. Boss 2 is getting ready to come out, and Mitch is he's just such a great guy because he's working to get the people of the DMV involved. Like, there's so many people that are great actors, and they're going to be in his movie, and a lot of them were already in Boss 1. So I would have to be Mitch because he's doing amazing things, and he is really for the people. He's not just for himself. He loves what he does, and he's learning his craft, and he's bringing it to life. But just like you said about this guy, he's bringing other people with him. It's not just about him. I mean, he's blessed, but he's blessing other people. That's what makes me look at him in a really big light because it's not just about him, and it shows through his actions.
Awesome.
So Mitch Creedle.
Mitch Creedle. All right. Sounds good. And my brother Jimmy, I kind of know what your answer might be, but what drives you? I mean, I know about your family. You have such a strong foundation, which is a blessing. But what are some of the things that really push you past those tough times? I mean, those rough times that you have to really pull it out of you. It's like in sports where you have to dig deep.
All the time. Yeah, that's every day. I think the biggest thing for any business owner, entrepreneur, or whoever is you got to know your why. Like, why do you wake up in the morning? Why do your alarm? Do you wake yourself up, or you just let does your alarm clock wake you up, or you just sleep until you get up? And that's what you got to ask yourself. What's your why? And for me, I've got a huge why. I haven't met my why yet, but I know one day I want to have a wife I can't afford right now. I want to have a child I can't afford right now. And every day I think about that, just seeing my son or my daughter run to me, and I know I can't afford it right now. Wow. And that gets my butt up every day. Every single
that's
day.
Real stuff there, man. I'm telling you.
I see her. I see him. I want them to have a nice house. I want them to be comfortable. I don't want them to ever worry about we're going to have food on the table, if they can go to the doctor. Is the lights going to be on? I don't want any of that. Exactly. But I know right now there's no way I can't afford it. But I got to make a way for that, and that's my why. And that's for anybody else. Find out what your why is. What's the deepest thing that you want to do? And and outside of that why, I've heard once that if you save a life, you saved all of humanity. Wow. And I just want to save a life. Just let me tell stories and save a life. Like somebody I don't know that's all the way in another country that sees one of my stories and their life's changed. Yeah, life changed. That's that's another why for me. But just knowing that why is why I do.
That's huge, man. You said a mouthful, but I'm gonna move on. That's a whole show right there. But what are some resources out there for those that might want training? We have a great resource coming up again at First Baptist Church of Glenarden with the Creative Production Workshop. But beyond that, what should individuals do? What is a good resource for them?
Not to just say I'm not a part of it. My brother runs, just because my brother runs it, I'm not saying it but the church has a great drama ministry. If you're in the church, if you are a Christian, or there's a great resource at First Baptist Church of Glenarden Drama Ministry. They do productions. They teach you how to be directors. They teach you how to write. All that stuff is great. That's one of my biggest resources I would say for you guys. And for everybody else that really wants to get into my industry, I would say do the same thing I do every day. Read, watch films, and write. Well, I'm a writer, but read, watch films. Read, watch films. Read, watch films. Wow. Every single day. Like, for me, every day I got to read 30 to 40 pages. Yesterday I read 50. Every day I got to write one of my scripts. I got to work on my script. Every day. Every day I have to watch a documentary. Every day. Every day I have to watch a feature film. Every day. And that's just discipline. You gotta have the discipline. Like, if you can't be disciplined, you don't deserve it. You ain't gonna get it. You gotta be disciplined and know this is if this is what you say you're gonna do. It ain't no you can't move from that. This is what you said. Stick to your word. And if you can't do that for yourself, you can't do it for the universe. You can't do it for the world. And it's never gonna happen for you. So be disciplined. Find your resources. They're easy to find. You can read scripts every day. You can go on Google and find any script in the world. No reason why you ain't learning about stories. There's so much you could do online, but work every day. And once you get that discipline down, then doors open.
The door's open. Excellent. And who would you like to spotlight out there that individuals should know about or reach out to?
Once again, I'll probably say First Baptist Church Drama Ministry. If you're trying to really improve yourself, as far as getting into something, that's a way to get into something. As far as resources, the thing about our industry is people don't really want to talk to you until you done did some work. So get your butt out and just do work. Find out. I don't care what it is.
Do something.
Yeah, you ain't. Don't nobody gonna talk to you. You ain't did nothing. You can send an email to every studio in the country. They ain't gonna respond to you. You ain't did nothing.
Wow.
Go do. For me, I had to make a movie by myself. I had $3,000, but I made a movie at 21. Became the youngest filmmaker from DC to produce a feature film. Wow. I ain't had no money. I didn't, but I had to show people I can do it. And then from there, somebody from Tyler Perry Studios seen it. Somebody from BET heard about it, and then guess what? I'm in those doors, but I did something. Just do it, even if it sucks. Do it.
Do it. Exactly.
Yeah, do it.
Exactly. And that's one of the ways God moves you. You got to be moving for Him to lead you. You can't be still.
You got to suck. And you have to suck. Everybody sucks.
Yeah.
Everybody suck. Jordan sucked.
Right.
You
That's
have
true.
to suck. If you don't suck, if you ain't suck, then you ain't start.
That's the learning curve.
You got to be awful.
That's the learning curve. I tell my daughter that all the time. Just go ahead out there and you fail and learn from your failures and keep it going.
So many people are scared, and then so many people are waiting for other people to pull them or do it for them. Like, you have to just go do it, like you said. Can't be scared.
Wow. Well, you guys have been awesome today. I know those that are watching have gotten a wealth of knowledge and information from you guys. I'm sure these young millennials and old millennials too, that just need an extra push. It's good to hear from you guys and hear the energy in the room and the passion that you guys talk about. So I just want to thank everyone again for checking out Elite Conversations Unplugged. We have had a great, great conversation today with Miss Dayne and Mr. Jimmy Jenkins. Definitely reach out to these guys. And one last time, how can individuals contact you if they want to reach out to you?
On Facebook, I'm Dayne. Again, Dayna spelled Dayne on Facebook. You can also connect with me at Dayna's Lane. And on IG, I'm only Dayne.
Okay.
And my website for my company is CapitalLifeLLC.com.
Excellent. And the organization, how do you reach out to that? The one on the 15th?
On the 15th, through Facebook.
Through Facebook
You have to
as well?
connect with me through Facebook, and then we actually, everybody that's involved, Benita and I speak to them first.
Gotcha.
It's not just,
Okay.
we want to really get to know you
know
because
you.
we want our max to
Relationship.
be 80. We don't want 200 or 300. We want to keep it close and tight. So if they connect with me on Facebook, like, they can send me an inbox, and we'll go from there.
Okay, excellent. And how can they reach out to you, Jimmy?
Instagram, Jimmy Jenkins 22, JIMMY JENKINS, then the number 22. On my on my website, jenkinsbros.com, JENKINS bros BROS.com.
Okay, and give them one more time the information for the workshop.
March 18th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We'll be calling all actors, directors, producers, writers, whether you have experience or none. If you're interested, you can get a ticket at jenkinsbros.com and come out.
Excellent. Well, this is Daryl Spears with EliteConversations.com. Again, our goal is to bring you knowledge, resources, and those connections that take you to the next level. You can always learn more about our services, our products, Entrepreneur Night by going to our website, www.EliteConversations.com. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great evening.
That was great.
Can we talk?
Oh, well, yep, we're good.